Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Today we're going to talk about disability and having a disability. And before we get started with the show, this is one person's journey, meaning this is what he or she had to deal with the word disabled. Because disabled can go so many different directions. But today on the show, we have a good friend of mine who I didn't realize to this very moment the disability that he had and how he had to deal with it. And he's here today to share some stories about his personal life and how he but how he dealt with the disability that he has. I'd like to welcome to the show Austin Isaac. Welcome to the show, Austin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
You know what? I had no idea of the disability that you had. I've been knowing you for several years now. Had the pleasure of knowing you for several years. Before we get started, tell the viewers a little bit about who you are first.
So I am a father of a beautiful son. I am married to a deaf wife who is Haitian. I'm a family-oriented person, and I just love doing things with my family. Plus, I'm a bowler myself, and just love enjoying life.
Let me first off say congratulations on your son and your new wife and her graduating college. I saw it all on social media. I had no idea. It's kind of like I've been walking past you for so many years, and we never actually shared each other's life. I guess because we was both working, doing something.
Exactly.
What was it like growing up with? Were you born with the hearing problem?
Yes, I was actually born. I was born with the connexin 26 gene that was passed both by my parents, which made me deaf. And I am actually one of the rarest cases in the world, actually, that has other issues along with that connexin 26 gene, and that's just how I became deaf.
What more do you know about this 26 gene? I've never heard of it. What does it consist of?
So I don't know the basics of it.
Right.
It's called the connexin 26 gene. It's just a bad gene that all of us carry, and it's just happened to be that my mom and my dad just had it at the same time, and then when they procreate me, I just happened to have it.
Really? Now, is both of your parents hearing problems as well?
Nope, they are actually both hearing. So the chances of hearing parents who have a deaf child is very slim.
Now, you have a child.
He's hearing.
He's able to hear. But you and your wife both have that gene.
Not everybody has a gene.
Really?
Everybody has bad genes, yes.
Right.
But not everybody has the connexin 26 gene. It's very rare in some cases. Like, for example, if I was with another woman who had the connexin 26 gene,
Right.
we could have a 50% chance of having a deaf kid.
Right.
But my wife and I, we don't have that same gene, so our son was able to be hearing.
Your wife is unable to hear too. Hearing impaired. Is that the word?
It's actually
Correct
deaf.
terminology? Is deaf. What's the difference between hearing impaired and deaf?
So hearing impaired, a lot of people use hearing impaired as, I would say, like a safe word, but really it's not a safe word. It's actually an insultive term.
Really? Why is it insulting?
Because we're not impaired. You're just looking at our ears. We're physically able to do stuff,
Right.
and we're not impaired. We just can't hear.
Okay.
We're still able to communicate with you. We can sign, we can write, we can do other stuff. It's just we're not impaired to hear. We're just can't hear.
Were you often labeled as hearing impaired, or?
Yes, I was really labeled as deaf and hard of hearing impaired. That was all my life up to high school.
What's that like? I mean, growing up, like going to school and when? Let me rephrase it. When do you really become aware that you're not like the other individuals, and then you have to fit in?
Honestly, Andre, I didn't really understand the word deaf or my identity until high school, honestly.
Really? So you were just normal all the way around, had no idea?
Exactly.
Really?
And I actually have to give out thanks to my ASL American Sign Language teacher who is deaf. Her name is Natalie Hendricks Evans, and she's been honestly my mentor from high school to now because she truly brought my identity out and actually taught me, hey, you're deaf. You're not hard of hearing. You're not hearing. You're not hearing impaired. You are deaf. That is your identity. And I was like, wow. So, yes.
How did you maneuver as a child if you're deaf? Like, you know, there's still dangers that we who don't have the issue, woo, 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 we know to pull over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ding, 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 ding. We know. So how did you even navigate as a younger child, not in high school, but just in general?
Honestly, Andre, I was given the look to navigate as a normal child because my mother taught me and looked at me as a normal child. Yes, she knew that she had a deaf child. Yes, she knew. But she did not take that deaf and put a protective bubble around me. She didn't.
Really?
She just let me be a normal child. There's parents out there.
Did she know sign?
She knows very little. But she knows how to communicate.
It's funny you said that, man. This brings back memories. My high school girlfriend, mother, was deaf. And I had no idea, but I used to wonder why her speech sounded strange. And she talked really loud, almost. And they taught me sign. And I was like, why? What's happening? But they didn't tell me till later.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to learn sign? Did your parents have to learn sign to communicate with you?
Yes. So there's several ways you can learn something. You can go out into community. You can go to private lessons. I mean, there's so many ways anymore these days.
I learned it from her because that's how they communicated with their mom.
And that is the best way
Yeah.
to interact with a deaf person. Because for me, I'll be honest, I actually learned it from my mother from birth to about 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually went to a program at my elementary school
Right.
who had teachers who were actually certified in that. Well, not certified, but able to teach that language. And I just picked up from that
She
time.
can also read lips too.
Yes,
I used to do like this. You know, 'cause I had and they kept it from me for, almost till I graduated. And I was like, why is he talking loud all the time? I thought it was me being like, you don't want me in the house? And, but the whole time when they did share it with me, I was like, so she can read lips? And I was like, I was like, okay, but when your mom and dad start learning sign, you have other brothers and sisters?
Nope, I am the only child.
Only child? How were you able to take that and bring it into the community? Without them making you feel like you wasn't supposed to be part of the community?
I'll be honest with you, Andre. When I first truly got into the deaf community, I wasn't accepted. I really wasn't.
Why?
Because I had a cochlear implant, which is a device that helps me hear, assists me in hearing. It doesn't cure it. It doesn't give me the ability to be like, hey, I can hear now. I don't have that. I'm hearing. No. It just allows me to hear. Like I'm able to hear you. I'm able to hear other things around the world. They saw that as my parents trying to fix me. They were only worried about the hearing part of me, not the real me.
So they felt like that you stepped outside of the comfort zone to get help, but really there was a resource available. Who wouldn't? If they asked Stevie Wonder, it's kind of funny you said that. They asked Stevie Wonder, we can get you where you can see. He says no. And you kind of, from a person outside looking in, you'd be like, who wouldn't want to see?
Right.
But I'm pretty sure if he was given the opportunity to see, his whole world would be fucked up. Because it's not how he manifested all these years and how he learned to cope. Is that what they pretty much wanted you to do?
No, they actually told me when I was able to understand what the cochlear was, they told me that if I want to take it off, as me, my own being, not from anybody, they will 100% support me all the way.
Really?
If I became deaf and I'd be sitting here signing to you instead of talking, they support that. They have been the biggest advocates in my life, Andre.
Really?
And I cannot thank them enough.
What are some of the things that you struggle with prior to getting the available resources to allow you to hear? What were some of the things that you were struggling with? Because you had a choice. I mean, they're telling you, hey, it's cool, you can learn, but here's another way you can get it done, and boom, instantaneously there's sound.
That's where I want to stop you. I didn't have a choice.
Really?
I was implanted at the age of 2.
Wow.
So that's why a lot of the deaf community look down upon on hearing parents like them. Because they feel like they forced me to have cochlear. They didn't. I always tell my story to everybody. My parents did not force me. They gave me the choice later in life. Was, hey, we gave you this to give you a normal life of deaf and hearing, so you can be a part of both worlds. And when I learned that, and plus that I learned my identity, I was like, okay. And my mom, I can never forget that day. We were all sitting at the kitchen table, and my mom asked me, about to cry, did we make the wrong choice? I looked at her crying, Andre. I said, no. If I had to go back as me and as I am today to that time when I was born or the day that they wanted to implant me, I wouldn't stop them. Not one bit. Because they gave me the ability to do something with my hearing. Yes, I might have been somewhere else in the world without my cochlear, but I'm not gonna ever have my parents feel like they ever regretted a choice that they did. Because they did it for their son. They made it to where I can hear in the world and truly able to allow me live my life the normalest way possible.
Wow. When you met your wife, what was that like?
Honestly, I actually met her through social media, ironically. And I was on Snapchat, and I was doing ASL music covers that I'm now doing today.
Okay. What exactly is that before you tell the rest of that story? What is ASL?
Exactly. And I was just signing certain songs I knew, and my wife had actually reached out to me. Was like, hey, I like your sign. Can we connect and talk? I was like, sure. And eventually, within 3 months of us talking, we've actually connected good, and she moved out to Indiana within 3 months.
From where? From where?
New Jersey.
You got her all the way from Jersey to Indianapolis, and then you bad boy.
But here's the funny part. I didn't tell her to move out. She did.
Really?
She moved out of here, out of New Jersey, on her own to here. I did not say, hey, come move. Nothing. The original plan was she'd come out to Indiana for a spring break and she'd go back to her home life. That was the original plan. And then COVID hit. That really threw a kink into things. Mm-hmm. So we actually moved her plane from 2 months in advance to that week that she actually wanted it to come. I was like, sure, I'll pay for the change. I'll do it. Paid it. The day I saw her walk in on the Indianapolis International Airport terminal, I knew I met the love of my life.
Get out of here.
I'm serious.
Did you know, you had to know that she was unable to hear?
Mm-hmm. We've actually talked.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. what are some of the things that when you both have this particular situation, what are some of the things that you share with each other that you're going to have to face?
Really, there isn't. There's nothing you have to say. If, okay, let's just say you have never met me, and we connected through email. My first thing would be like, hey, Andre, I want to give you a heads up. I am deaf. I'm able to hear, I have a cochlear implant, and I'm able to talk to you as clear as possible.
Right.
And if you want to bring in a translator, I'd be more than happy to do it. Not a problem. That's between us as anything. As a personal relationship, or friends, family, possibly a relationship. You just talk normally. And if it happens to become where it's a video chat, right there and then, that's where you find out, hey, we're both deaf. We both sign. It's just more visual than saying, hey, I'm deaf. Because honestly, anymore these days, if you say, hey, I'm deaf, is your name really deaf? Or what is your real name?
Right.
So,
What about your dad? You talked briefly about the role that your mom played. How did your dad deal with all this? And the fact that you're married now. I mean, they're still parents. I mean, parents still have their parents are parents. They're going to still have their concerns, even if we conquer those ourselves in adulthood. It's just our nature of being parents.
So with my dad, he from birth to about 19, because he actually passed in 2017. That time span, from my experience of truly knowing what he did, he had honestly looked at me being deaf not as a burden, but he kind of looked at it as a disadvantage.
How's that?
Because he has some health problems of his own that he couldn't really use his hands. Diabetes, arthritis.
I get you.
So that's where it's kind of limited to, hey, I can't sign. I cannot communicate with my son. So a lot of that was contributed to the decision making of giving me the cochlear. So he can have that physical connection with me as father and son. And unfortunately with that, and plus the health deteriorating over time, he didn't really have that father role, kind of. He kind of rushed his role into my life.
When you say rush, what do you mean?
Pretty much cramming all of his life experience into the span of a few years. Like life lessons, things that a father's supposed to teach a son. He didn't really have that much time because he knew he was going to pass pretty soon.
So because there was such a span between treatment for you and his health diminishing, it was a must that he try to cram as much of his love into you as possible.
And unfortunately that made a lot of, I wouldn't say necessarily bad relationship with my father, no. It's just a lot of bad intentions that were made at first impressions. But then once I got older, I knew what he was doing, and I just took it with a grain of salt.
How does that affect you now, Dad? Because let's get real. When you get older, you see things differently. At the time, you was probably like, "Hey, dude, you're invading my privacy. Why are you doing this to me right now? I can't process all this." And now you realize, well, when you're on the clock, you try to get as much out as you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As of right now, honestly, at this moment in time, there are a lot of things I do wish my father was around. A lot of times.
Like what?
Like when there's just an internal problem that I can't figure out. Yes, I can go to my mom. I mean, she played the mother and father role several years. Yes, I can go to her. But maybe I don't want to go to a female about it. I want to go to a male who is my father.
Right.
But with that father figure being gone, that honestly made me hold it in. Because us men, we know, we've always been told, hey, hold your feelings in.
That's not good.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I have honestly gotten that feeling from the society in general. Like, hey, just hold it in, don't worry about it. That really impacted my self-being, my mental health, and well-being. And my mom finally, within about 3 years after my father's death, finally broke me of that.
When you say she broke you of it, what did she tell you that you need to go get?
No, she literally sat down with me from noon all the way to 3 a.m. just talking with everything that I was going through.
Name the three top things that you was going through.
Mm-hmm.
Name the three things that really, because at the end of the day, you gave three things to your mom. You can, and I think that's beautiful to sit there and talk that long about not her, but she listened to you.
Yep. And she's like, her biggest question was, why didn't you come to me sooner?
I was just going to say that.
She said, why couldn't you come to me sooner? Why? I could have helped you. And I flat out told her, I said, Mom, you're not a male figure. Yes, you played the father role, and I appreciate you. But the problem is, a lot of this, you can't understand with the male to female.
Right.
And she's like, I could have had your uncle or whatever.
I was going to say, did you have uncles or something that you felt confident to go talk to, or were they kind of like estranged, so to speak?
It wasn't really that. It's just like when I previously mentioned that I had bad tensions with my father, that's the part that made me really close up to a lot of people. It's not just because it's a male figure or a female figure. It's just it really made me close up. Because I didn't feel like I was able to talk to my father. Like, hey Dad, I have this problem. Like I said, he was trying to cram his love into me and never really giving me the time to talk. So that's where I was like...
You would have felt better had he said, even though he was deteriorating in his health, maybe he should have took that 5 minutes and say, hey, what are you going through? You're the one that has to deal with what society thinks is an issue.
Yeah, and I do sometimes wish he could have taken that time to truly sit down with me. And yes, there's been times where he's done that, but I don't think he really listened to me. He was more being, like you said, parents are parents.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like, you're not really listening, you're just listening to me as your son and just brushing it off.
Let's go back for a minute.
Sure.
Now you have your mom that had to listen to you. They allowed you to say what was on your mind. What was three things that really troubled you that you had to share with your mom?
I'll be honest, Andre. That was several years back. I don't remember.
Okay.
But if I had to remember what those three were, relationship issues, myself as, like, who in the heck can I truly talk to? Like, there was a lot of self-doubt for me. And three, what can I truly do in this world that I can actually thrive on, excel?
What's your purpose? You mean, what's your purpose?
Yes. What's my purpose?
I think we all still dealing with that to this day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think it's probably one of the toughest things that people have to deal with. If you ask them, what's your purpose? And they go, I think when that question is directed to people, they think money first.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah. And then they get stuck. And that's a big question. When you ask what your purpose was, when you thought about yourself, what was your conclusion when you asked yourself that?
Honestly, at that time, it was money. Exactly.
Yeah. I've asked people, and I was like, do you really know what your purpose is?
And many people to this day don't.
Get a good job, get a house. I say that's not purpose.
That's just life.
That's life. That's what we consider life. That's not purpose. Like, what is your purpose? So when you find out what your purpose was, how did that make you feel? When all the walls came tumbling down, all the garbage, all the baggage, all the doubts, you understood your identity and now your purpose. What did that make you feel like?
Honestly, it made me feel like a stupid piece of, It did. Because I was like, why couldn't I figure that out back then until I think when I figured that out, I was like 20? And I was like, just with my father passing that year before, and me becoming 20, it made me feel stupid. I'm not gonna lie. And that's just where it's like, holy shoot, that's my purpose? Okay.
So now that you corrected everything, you have a beautiful wife, you have a son. What's it like being a father now for you? You see, as parents and as children, I won't say mistakes because nothing is a mistake in this world. It's a lesson to be taught from it or to learn from it. But we see our parents and you recognize what happened with your father, what happened with your mom. But now you're a husband and a father. What do you bring from your past here that you don't want to see happen to your son or your wife?
The biggest thing that I bring from that is communication. I don't ever want my wife, my son, to feel like they cannot talk to me about things. Yes, there might be times where I'm like, don't talk to me, I'm pissed. But later on, please come talk to me. Because I'm always going to be there for you and my son. That's just bottom line. And honestly, that's truly helped with my marriage, truly. Because a lot of people look at me and was like, how are you thriving in your marriage? How? I was like, and many people always say anymore, communication is key. And that is very true. Communication is key. And just with me being deaf and us communicating in our native language, which is sign, it kind of lessens that phrase, communication is key, because we're able to understand in our own language instead of the hearing English language that we all are pretty much speaking now today. And it's just more of, oh shoot, I can have a conversation with my wife without having any doubt, discrimination, or just in general hate.
Right.
I can just communicate with my wife of how I feel or how she feels for me, and then I can just take away from that, be a better father, be a better husband, and just be there for my son.
You're on a mission right now, before we wrap up. You're on a mission to bring enlightenment and empowerment to individuals. Explain that to the viewers, what your mission is right now.
So my mission is just trying to bring communication barriers being broken down. And I have my own YouTube channel where it's called ASL Music Groove in American Sign Language. And that's just where I do popular songs such as Miley Cyrus, Stats, country singers, anybody. And I'm able to express my feelings, my conveyation of message into that song to allow not just deaf, hearing community to truly see my work in action and be like, oh, hi, that's your message? Okay. And I'm just happy that I'm able to bring that skill to life.
How can they reach out to you and get this information that you're putting out for the viewers?
So you can reach me out at Facebook, YouTube. It's at ASL Music Groove, at ASL or American Sign Language, or you can go to my personal Facebook page, Austin Isaac, and you can look it from there.
Is there a need for this? Why is there a need for this? You created this, but what was the drive? How big was the need for what you're doing?
The need was very big because the only reason why this brand became the way it is because my grandfather actually, he passed unfortunately last year on Labor Day, and he was always been a big advocate of my signing. That really initiated the drive, initiated the motivation to start this whole brand to where I am now today. And that's just like really mind blowing to see from previous years when I first started this channel. It's like, hi, my name's Austin, to like, I'm actually making music or per se content for the deaf community.
How's the deaf community accepting all this? I mean, this has to be revolutionary for the community in general.
So the deaf community is actually accepting it just fine. Because, I mean, there's other people doing it, but most of them are just, I wouldn't say native signers. Many of them are truly professionals at this job. It's their whole life career. But there's other people who be like, ooh, I can do that. They look at money.
Okay.
Sadly. Me, I'm not looking for money. It's just a skill and passion I like. I'm able to put it out on that platform or any platform for anybody to enjoy.
Leave the viewers with that beast mindset that you got.
Sure thing, sir.
No, I want you to leave the viewers with something.
Oh!
Not me. This is all about you. You lead the viewers with that beast mindset. What keeps you going?
Drive, passion. Just make sure if you have a passion or a hobby that you like to do, focus, capitalize on that, and just make sure you don't ever give up on that passion.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode. Make sure you guys follow, support, like the mission that Isaac is actually doing for the community. This has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton Show.